And, there is one letter that would be different from all the others. And that would be the letter that gives notice to Ottawa that Alberta is taking back responsibility for policing.
The UCP forging ahead once again when it comes to a provincial police force. A detailed blueprint on how it would be deployed is now released. Minister of Justice Tyler Shandro says this is about taking control of enforcement resources and preparing for if the federal government were to pull their subsidy for the RCMP.
We have to remember the federal government has wanted out of that liability since the 1960s. And the opportunity in continuing to receive that subsidy, quite frankly, has a shelf life.
The blueprint released Tuesday, over 100 pages long, shows the provincial force would see 275 frontline officers added to the smallest 42 detachments in Alberta for more rural police oversight and faster response times. There would be a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 80 officers at each community detachment, whereas now there are sometimes as few as 3. So where will the province find all of these new people? Shandro says right now, RCMP and contract police officers are stretched thin.
And we have no civilian oversight over the recruitment and retention of officers. We could then be responsible for and have a say in how folks are recruited.
As part of this force, there will also be 20 to 30 medium-sized hubs in larger centers with between 48 and 192 officers. These would also support smaller detachments and include mental health response. The blueprint also suggests First Nations in Alberta will have better coverage and a choice over whether they want it or not. That's where the cost variable comes in, though Shandro insists no extra cost will be put on any community.
In 2019, there was a new model for how policing is funded in the province. We've made a commitment to municipalities that if there is a transition to provincial police, that this will not result in costs being downloaded onto those municipalities.
More than 70 rural communities have signed a letter asking the Alberta government to stop all plans in creating this force, asking for the resources to be put towards increasing RCMP officers and improving social services.
The opinions among many of our municipalities is varied. They wanted to have further engagement. So we've been meeting with them one at a time, sometimes as many as 4 at a time, and meeting with well over 100 so far municipalities to be able to engage with them and hear their concerns directly and to be able to answer their questions directly. That's for me much more insightful than surveys that are financed by and published by the police union.
In the near future, a new UCP leader and premier will be chosen. It's yet to be known whether that person will take the baton and advance this notion, but Shandro says the frontrunners seem to be in support, although the opposition NDP is not. In Calgary, Taylor Braat, City News.